Okay, so welcome Donna to the Ladies of Law podcast. We are going to start with asking you if you could just tell us a little bit about your journey into law.
Right. Well, I've realized looking back on my journey that I'm the accidental lawyer. I think I'm probably accidental lots of things, but definitely the accidental lawyer in the sense that I left school at 16 because, in those days, that's what you did in Dublin, convent school. And I did a secretarial course because my granny made me so that I would be able to pay the bills. And just coincidentally, my first job was an office junior in a law firm. So that was the beginning of my legal career at age 17. So I did that and I kind of delivered post because it was before email and stuff like that. So I did that for a few years and then I applied for a junior secretarial job in Dublin again, which really was kind of a bit experienced for me, but I thought I'll give it a go
Yeah.
and see what happens. And this guy, I think, took pity on me. I was about 18 or 18 and a half, and he gave me the job and I was going to work for a junior lawyer. So again, I went into another legal practice, which was really buzzy in Dublin city centre. It was really good. I really liked it. And then about age 20, I emigrated to England. And then I went across and then I picked up legal secretary again in Newcastle upon Tyne is where I went to. So I stayed in the law because I think once you get a bit of legal experience, it's easier to get a job, isn't it? So legal secretary in Newcastle in a criminal legal aid practice. So big difference, had done probate and stuff like that and conveyancing. And then I did that for a couple of years, probably to about age 22. And I just thought, I don't want to be a secretary for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I was a bit frustrated because as a secretary, you do an awful lot for the lawyer. Like you deal with clients,
Really
you
do,
make
yeah.
appointments, you fill out paperwork. I mean, I was doing so much of his job
Yeah.
and I thought, but I felt like a robot. So I thought I'd love to study law. I wonder, is there any chance for me to do that? So I applied for a law degree at Newcastle Uni, but I couldn't get funding. So I couldn't do a degree. And then someone told me about ILEX or
Yeah.
Silex.
I
And
like
that was the beginning of, oh my God, and I'm like, yeah, but what do you have to do that? Like, you have to have your leaving cert, which is A levels equivalent in Ireland, because I didn't have them. And they went, no, I think it's like 4 O levels is the entry point. So that was like, oh my God. So I think for me, I'm really kind of appreciative of the fact that the bar to entry to do law in the UK was so low, that it gave kind of someone like me who kind of left school early, messed up, to go back
Yeah.
and get a second chance. And it's brilliant. And I'm very supportive of Silex. I'm always kind of speaking for them and supporting them and we have a lot of Silex people at Carpenters because I really believe it's an amazing way. And if you meet any Silex people, they're quite tough. Yeah. You know what I mean? They have studied and worked. They have, done a lot of stuff and you have to take a lot of flack. I mean, I got a lot of, oh, you're not a proper lawyer
Yeah,
along the way.
yeah.
I mean, but it didn't matter because the only thing is I did keep on going and then I did qualify as a solicitor eventually because I kind of thought I'm on the road now.
Yeah.
I did sort of 7 years and I thought it's only another 2 or 3. So I kind of kept going. I don't know if I was addicted to law exams or not, but I did it. And I mean, it was good because when I decided to join John at Carpenters and be a partner, I wouldn't have been able to do that at the time as Silex. You can now. But then you couldn't be a part owner of a law firm. So it all kind of worked out. It was worth it. But it is a tough journey, though.
It is, absolutely. I think it's so nice to hear you say that as well because it very much represents my initial career path in law. For me, there was no way that I would have been able to do it in the traditional way. I left school and I had to work, and the only way to get the qualifications was the Silex route. I too am extremely grateful for Silex and the opportunities it gave me. And I think one of the beauties of it as well is you learn so quickly because you're on the job learning and you're also doing the educational side. But you're so right, it makes it very tough because you're dealing with a lot all at once.
Yeah, I did the keynote speech for the Silex graduation last year. And it was, it was an amazing moment for me, from my background to be standing up in front of these amazing graduates. But the stories they told me afterwards, like some people took 20 years, 15 years, due to personal traumas, disease, illness. And I just was like, wow. And it's amazing that it's so flexible and that you can keep going and get to even if you put it down for a few years because of, commitments, you can pick it back up. But I agree with you. The specialist lawyers that come through Silex are amazing because they really know their subject and what they're doing inside out.
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't agree
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, I would really like to know about what your job looks like now. It must be quite different.
Yeah, it is very different. And I think initially, when I'm 29 years since I joined John and became a joint owner of a business. So 29 years, and it has dramatically changed in that time. I think one of the big difficulties for me was I don't know how far in, probably about 10 years in of that 29 years, I was trying to do the fee earning and I was trying to build a business, look at strategy, get clients in, the business side of it. You know what I mean? And that is really important when you're building a business because, you have great fee earners anyway and great solicitors and lawyers there, but you need to do stuff. And John decided I was good at that stuff, that I needed to get involved in the business side of it. That's why he said he wanted me to join him. So I had to I didn't want to put the law down and I didn't want to stop fee earning. So I was trying to do both. And the worst thing that happens is you do both badly.
Yeah.
So clients weren't happy with me. I didn't feel like I was doing the best job at business development. So eventually I had to stop fee earning. And that was very tough for someone from my route because I kind of went, that's what I did. That's what I've done 29 exams for, to be a lawyer. Now I'm not going to be a lawyer. But I think it was the right decision. It was the right decision for the business.
Yeah.
It's probably the right decision for me. I think I'm probably not a bad lawyer, but I think I'm probably good at business as well.
Yeah.
And business development, even though I didn't like it at first because it's selling, isn't it, a bit? But I kind of got used to it and learned how to do it. But I think that was tough, putting the law down. But then I've realized, like, over the years, I've still used it, because I still speak. I'm very much into access to justice. I always say it's one of those hills that I'll die on. So I'm very involved in that. So it's good that I know the law and I understand how the law works. And, and even now, when the whiplash reforms came in and we got a new portal, I knew how that worked, why it was there, what was happening. So it's very handy for me to know. I don't think I could do what I've done without being a lawyer. So I still use it every day, but I don't actually fee earn. But I've come to terms with that. I had to, I suppose. But yeah, I've got some brilliant people at the business who do that, so they don't need me.
No, and I think what is really fascinating is, so I've followed you for a long time on LinkedIn, and you do so many other things now. It feels like you've picked up all of these extra responsibilities along the side, and you do them so well for so many other people. I'd really like to talk to you about the Girls Network in particular. Can you tell us about that and how that came about, what it's about, what you do? Tell us everything.
The Girls Network, I mean, this is the thing I love about social media. And I know there's an awful side of social media as well, but I see a very positive side of it. It's been very positive for me, one, in learning stuff and, finding new things. Two, in being able to share. I mean, I kind of use it as a soapbox, don't I? And I use it as a platform to give my opinion, to support things that I really believe in, and to promote, kind of charities and things that people are doing really well for other people, and try and get people involved, to rally people, I suppose. And I saw the Girls Network on LinkedIn, I think, probably, or I don't know. I mean, I used to be a big fan of Twitter before it became X, and then I fell out with it. But it used to be very good in the old days. So I saw it either on there or on LinkedIn, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I looked it up, I went to the website and I saw, and I just thought, because again, I'm that 16-year-old girl sitting in that inner city classroom in Dublin, and I'm going to leave school. And nobody spoke to me about not leaving school, or about careers, and even though I don't come from a background of lawyers or careers, and in that time, women in Ireland didn't have a lot of prospects. It was just, nobody ever said that to me. So I just kind of went, imagine if someone from the Girls Network had come into my school.
Yeah.
Might that have changed my life? So I kind of looked at it, and two teachers from, I think, London, were working with young girls, and they kind of realized that girls in particular from tough socioeconomic backgrounds don't have a lot of choice, don't have a lot of prospects, don't have a lot of support, especially if you're the first person in your family that wants a career or wants to go to university. Who do you ask?
Yeah.
So they set up this amazing charity, which is nationwide, and it's connected to schools. And those schools have to be in tough socioeconomic backgrounds, which is right.
Yeah.
And you can sign up to support a girl in your local school. So I'm on my third girls network mentee, and I kind of say this, and people say, yeah, you would say that because you want us to do it, but it's very I mean, I've learned so much from it, and I've done 3 sessions with a 17-year-old, so she's lower sixth, so next year is her A levels, and I've learned so much from her, and it kind of keeps me young. It kind of, particularly around social media, like I didn't realize, because I use it positively. I'm older when I found it, so I can do it my way, and I can make it work for me. But when you're young, you have to do it the way everyone's doing it, and it can suck you in. It can really adversely affect you. And I just, when these girls explained that to me, it was like, whoa, imagine having that on your plate, as well as tough background, maybe not a lot of money, not a lot of support. So I absolutely love it. And I kind of want to try and encourage, I mean, everywhere I go, I try and pick up mentors.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're one of them. But, I just feel like I said to you, didn't I, that the school I'm with at the moment, when I went there to start about 6 weeks ago, 70 girls applied for a mentor, and there was only 20 mentors. So 50 girls got rejected, really. And I think when you think about it, they're applying for a mentor. They want help. So you're not like telling them to do it. You're not saying this is great. They have to apply, and then they pick the best 20 out of 70. I mean, so it's really important. So if anyone's listening on here, I'm going to say it, like, their website is really helpful, and they do these half-hour online sessions where they'll tell you all about it, what it entails, and they hold your hand through the whole process.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really, really rewarding.
It is. It's so rewarding for both sides, isn't it? But I think
Yeah.
particularly what's really interesting is, as you've just touched on there, you get so much for being a mentor, because you're that person for them that can help and guide them that they would not normally have access to. And I can see all over your face, like, you've clearly get so much joy from it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're like my girls. I keep in touch with the other 2, and I will keep in touch with number 3. But I'm like, just touch base with them. How are you? I mean, the second one is at university, first year. It's tough when you have come from a background like mine and you're at university. I mean, I never made it to university, but, and I'm worried, is everything all right? Any issues? How's it going? And I just think it's just that kind of, and I think it's that thing. And I mean, I have children. They don't want to talk to their parents. I don't know why, but it just doesn't work that way. So I think already she's told me things that she probably hasn't told her parents.
Yeah.
Or, her fears, her anxieties and things like that. And I just think you're in a very privileged position.
Yeah.
And one of the main things I laugh about, and I say to these girls, and they laugh, and I go, I'm going to be telling you, to do as I say, not as I did. Because I mostly don't want them to make the mistakes. Yeah. I mean, and you're passing on that knowledge, that experience, and the messes that you've made. And I think for me, I've been very hard on myself over the years, and I really drill it into them. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself a bit of rope. It's not that bad. And I think for me, I've realized as well that the way you handle failure is more important than the way you handle success.
That is so true. I have to say, I have learned so much more from the things that I've failed at than the things that have gone well. And when you're failing quite quickly and you're picking that up and you're working out, right, okay, where do I go from here? The life skills that come from that, and the business skills, the work skills, the rest of it, it really does follow. And I think there's still a real issue with people feeling like failure is such a bad thing and not feeling able to kind of have those conversations. So I love that that's really part of what you bring to them. And
if you think about it, imposter syndrome thrives with people from very, tough backgrounds and people who are self-made, because we never really feel like, we should be here. We still kind of feel like that outsider. So I think when you're the kind of girls I deal with, they're in a similar position to me. So I'm kind of saying, you do belong here.
Yeah.
You are entitled to be here, and you are good enough. And I think I was in the middle of that for years on my own, not telling anyone how I felt. And I want them to be open, because it's normal to feel like that.
I love that so much, because that resonates massively with me. I came out of school at 16 and I threw myself into it, and you feel like you have to put this bravado on of everything's okay, and behind the scenes, you're like the
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I know. And it's, when you think about, you don't want people to repeat that pain, because it is really painful, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And what's so wonderful about that is they're going to remember their mentors for life. They just will.
I hope so.
Love that so much. Okay, so you don't just have an involvement in the Girls Network, you also seem to do a lot for your community and for charity. Tell us about that. Why is that? Where did that
It's
come
funny. It's funny because everyone always asks me that, why do you do it?
from?
And I suppose I always say, because I don't really know why, I suppose. I suppose it's in me, but I kind of look for reasons or things. And I think, well, I come from a very ordinary background. So I think I shouldn't forget where I come from.
Yeah.
And there is a Dublin saying which says you can't lose the run of yourself. So if that was kind of embedded in me, in my culture, so I think that's part of it, is that I know when it's tough, I know what it's like to be tough. So when you get a bit of success, you want to share it, or you want to help people who are maybe not in the lucky position that you're in. I also talk about my granny helped to bring me up, because my dad died when I was young, and she was very kind. She was just a really kind person who helped everybody and would give you her last penny, that sort of person.
Yeah,
So
I do.
I was brought up by someone like that. My mum is lovely as well. I mean, she suffers from mental illness, so it was tougher for her. But so you're surrounded by kindness, even though you haven't got much. That didn't mean you couldn't be kind. So that was kind of in me. And I think, yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I listen to podcasts myself, and I listen to people going, "Oh, I think it's a service. I think I was born with this feeling that I want to do service," and I kind of go, "Oh, yeah, that kind of resonates." Oh, because you're always looking for a reason. But I think at the end of the day, I have come across some amazing community groups and charities. I think I'm 29 years in Merseyside, and Merseyside is a very much a community city.
Yeah.
It really is. I think it's well known for that. And I knew that before I came, but when I came, I was blown away. And I always say, like, a Scouser's the type of person, if they have £20, they'll give £5 of that away to help other people. They'll go, I don't need £20. So they don't have to have a lot of money to help others. So then again, you have that kind of, that inspiration around you. And I think I kind of I looked at the community around me here in Merseyside, and I kind of went, I'd like to support that, and I'd like to help that. And I've gone for very grassroots type stuff, and John and I like grassroots because it's about social mobility.
Yeah.
It's about our background because we're self-made. So it's like, I also say, this is not my saying, but I use it. But talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. So I think if you come from that background, you want to share opportunity. You want to help people who maybe are not eating, or, haven't got anywhere to go or to play or whatever. So grassroots sport is very important. And it's not just about kicking the ball, is it? It's about getting out of the house, keeping away from the bad people. There's just positives everywhere. Community.
Around you.
Yeah. Being part of something, knowing leadership, rules are good. That you have to be there at a certain time, all those things. So I think it's just watching people around me, being inspired by them, wanting to help. And I think for me, with getting less busy over the years, with having more people in the business to support and to run it and help, it's given me the opportunity to actually be hands-on. Like it's easy to give money, and it's easier to sponsor and all that. And I probably did that for years, but the last sort of maybe 5 to 10 years, it's been more hands-on. And I've really enjoyed that. I mean, I was worried that I cry all the time because I'm very emotional, but you do cry for a bit, and then you kind of go, they don't need me crying. They need me to get this done. And, so I have manned up. I have hardened up a bit to it, but you have to. But it's so lovely, and it's very rewarding. I mean, I get as much out of it as they probably get out of it as well.
Yeah, I see that. I think one of the things that really strikes me is how, and I think I told you this before, how open and honest you are on social media. I think at a point where AI is more prominent and people are using that for their posts, one of the things that I just love about you is you're just so true to you, and you can
Yeah.
absolutely tell with every post that you make, you've written every single word of it, and
Yeah.
I love that. And you
Yeah.
often talk about inspirational people, particularly you did an amazing post on your mom. Can
Yeah.
you talk to us a little bit about that side? Is that something that's something that you do knowingly? Is it something that just comes naturally to you? Because I've seen such a switch
Right.
in a lot of people, but you have
Yeah.
always remained true to yourself. I just
Yeah.
think it's really interesting in this time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say never, but I don't think I'm ever going to let AI write things for me
Yeah.
because I think I'm too old and I'm past that and I want to be myself. So I'm not doing it. I mean, Carpenters will be full of AI, I'm sure, but I'm not going to be because I just,
Yeah.
I want to stay myself and I don't want them to rewrite because I just feel like everyone knows how I talk and how I write. Someone said it's very Irish, and so it should be because I am Irish. So, but yeah, I think my brother said to me years ago as I got, a bit more successful, you should tell your story because people will look at you and think that you're this polished, educated, confident person, and that it's unachievable for them to be like you. And
Right.
that's not you. You're not like that. You're quite rough and ready, and you're very down to earth. So I thought, right, I kind of listened. I always listen to him. He's very inspirational to me as well. So I kind of took that on board, and I have been more open about my journey, and that I'm self-made, and that it took me years to be a lawyer. So I kind of opened up more about that. I think about opening up about some of the like trauma in my childhood and some of the things that were tough for me. That really came in COVID, and the
Okay.
beginning of that for me was, when my mum was in a nursing home, a care home because of her mental illness. She has been for years. And when they were kind of going, oh, we're just going to throw people in the care home, who have COVID, and then everybody in the care home will die, but they're old anyway and they don't really count. I'm like, my
That's,
mammy's in there and all these lovely people who I know from visiting. So I kind of went, excuse me, my mammy's in there and she's great and she just doesn't deserve to be put on the scrap heap. So that was the reason I kind of started talking about her and her, what happened to her and her, her life story. And people loved it. I
yeah.
mean, everyone, even people now say to me, how's mammy? What's
Oh,
she doing? How is she? And I do an odd post now, but during COVID, I did a lot, and I did a lot of pictures of me and her on Zoom and stuff, because that's the only way I could talk to her for over a year because I couldn't go and see her. So yeah, and that the thing I realized is that people are inherently kind and they're inherently interested in human stories and
very.
human trauma and whatever. So as I started to open up, I got more and more followers and more people engaged with me. So I kind of you take the lead, don't you? And you go, oh, people are liking this. So that's good. I think for me, what I didn't realize sometimes, and I don't, because I'm very instantaneous. I don't think about a post. I just kind of go, oh, that means something to me, or I need to promote that, or I need to say this. And it'll just come to me and I just type it out and I do it. Because don't forget, I'm a secretary, so I can type really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm a touch typist. But I when I go out now, and I mean, when you said to me, I'm really shocked when people come over and chat to me, and I think, I don't know them. How do I know them? And they go, I'm your LinkedIn
I know
friend.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, and they know everything about me, and I forget, and I sometimes forget people are listening, and that they're looking at you, and because sometimes they just like it, and you're not engaging with them, but you realize that people like it, and I've had a great feedback, and I love that, and I get lovely private messages on LinkedIn from people who go, I heard your speech at whatever, and it resonated with me. I like that you're self-made, blah blah blah. So I know that it's positive, and I know that it kind of works. So that's why I'm not stopping, because I think, well, there's clearly an audience for this and it works and it's helping people. So I'll keep going at it. But if I wasn't, I'd shut up. If people were saying, oh, for God's sake, that's enough. Stop it now. And I mean, that might happen in a few years, but at the moment, it's still very positive.
No,
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. And do you know what I love about it as well? It's so different to. We're moving into this really interesting new world with AI at the moment, and I think it has the power to do some really incredible things for
Yeah.
the good of the world and the community. But I do think there is going to be so much more pull towards the human element of everything. And I think in the best way possible, probably without you even realizing, you're leading the way. You're leading the
Well,
way with this because
it'll be like the dinosaur. They put me in a little paddock, for the dinosaurs where they go, there's the people who won't move. But the funny thing is, I'm madly into technology. I mean, our business is
yeah,
hugely successful because of technology. So, and we're all, I mean, I was at a board meeting yesterday at Carpenters and we probably spoke about AI for an hour.
yeah,
And there's very great positives of it. I mean, we're nervous, cautious about it, but we have to embrace it and get the good out of it. But we love the people. I love our people, so they're not going anywhere. But this can maybe make things easier for people. It can make, there's things you can do around, the positive side of it. But it's, I just go, I listen to all that and go, it's not for me though, personally.
yeah.
I don't really want it. I mean, I might probably do some research if I was looking for something or the background for something, it would be good. But in terms of it being what I say,
Yeah.
and I mean, sometimes I look at the posts now and they're so flashy and there's so many icons. I mean, I don't know where I am.
Yeah, and I think what's really wonderful for me is if AI can give people some time back on the
Yeah.
manual tasks, but it gives them the time to do the more human elements, because I don't see that going away. I think that is what people resonate with. It's what they connect with, and I really look forward to your posts. I'm being
Okay.
a cheeky fan.
Well, I'm going nowhere at the moment. I'm still there. I'm not going anywhere.
Amazing. Okay, so I have two questions for you next that we ask of all the guests. And the first one is, what would be, and it's a tricky one, what would be the one thing that, knowing what you know now, you would wish you could go back in time and tell yourself? What one piece of advice? I bet you've got thousands.
I have. I mean, I did so many things wrong. And I think I have to say overall to not be so hard on myself.
Yeah.
I was very, very hard on myself. I wanted to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist in recovery because I know it's bad. And I pass that on to my mentees, by the way. But, I always wanted to be perfect. I always wanted to be successful. And I think that drive is in you, unfortunately, and it just was always there. But, I just think and if I messed up, oh my God, it was the end of the world. I mean, so I go back and say, be nicer to her because she's trying her best. And, and I think to be more open about the things like imposter syndrome. I mean, I'm old enough to have experienced sexual harassment, sexual discrimination. And I think I would have wanted to be more open about that. I kind of bottled a lot of stuff up. And then I just made myself deal with it and thought I was really terrible because I couldn't deal with it. But no one can deal with all that. But so that's what I would be nicer to myself.
I love that so much. And I think that will resonate with so many people. And even though I think there's a bit of a shift now to people going, yeah, I really should be, we still really struggle with it.
Yeah. It's a work in progress. I mean, I podcast the other day, every day is a school day, and you got to keep learning. And I mean, I think right up until your last breath, you're going to be saying, I have to work on this because I am naturally a perfectionist. So that's where my default is. Yeah. So anything else is me trying to change that. And change is always really hard, isn't it?
Yes, change is really, really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for you then, Donna, is who would you like us to talk to on the podcast? Do you have a recommendation for me? Somebody that you think would be able to inspire our community?
Oh my God, there's so many of them.
I know, this is really
Yeah. I mean, have you Zoe Holland? I don't know if you've had Zoe on.
See, Zoe,
has she been on?
She hasn't been on, but she was my executive coach.
Right.
Unbelievably lucky that she coached me, and she coached me through quite a few of the things that we've just talked about.
Okay. Well, I've known her for years, never met her. So we were LinkedIn friends, and she did that brilliant thing in COVID, her the gift she made in COVID.
Yeah.
And I got involved. I tried to support her a little bit in that, and I thought it was amazing, and she's amazing. But then I spoke at her conference a year ago. So the first time we met was last year, after all these years of liking each other. And she sussed me out straight away, and she gave me something to talk about that she could see in me. And I'm like, how did you see that? And, and then she's just written a book, which everybody needs to buy. And she's put a bit in there on my leadership. And she sent me her take on how I lead. And I cried my eyes out because I thought, first of all, how does someone care enough to look at you in that kind of forensic detail? And how do they then, because she's a beautiful writer as well. So she, honestly, I read it. I couldn't even believe it was me. So it's in her book. I've ordered a lot of her books. They haven't arrived yet. But, so she, for me, is like, and she's very spiritual.
Yes.
And I'm not really, I would love to be. I've tried mindfulness for about 100 years and I can't do it. So she's my opposite. So she has this spiritual bit that I would love to have. So she's got, so I really admire her. But she's just brilliant, isn't she? She's just, and I mean, I can't believe that's a coincidence, isn't it?
That is so bizarre. See, I am a fangirl of hers also.
Yeah.
I've known her for a while and followed everything she's done, and
Yeah.
she's always made. I know she's probably one of the busiest people that I know, but she's always made time for me.
She'll come on for you if you ask her. And she does the
Zoe
Bridget
Holland,
Jones things.
You.
Yeah, Zoe Holland, we're saying to you, you've got to do it now. Go on. No, and she, I think for younger people who don't know her, you need to know her. And these kind of, I mean, she's not old, by the way, but she's older than you and some of the women who'll be listening to this. And I just think those kind of women who have life experience, and she's had some tough experiences as well, and she's really open about it. But I just think she's very zen.
Yeah.
Isn't she? She makes me want to calm down, and I'm really hyper. And I just go, oh,
yeah,
we all need that. I mean, all the people like me who are not very zen, we need people like her, but she makes so much sense. And she's a very good person.
She is, absolutely. And some of the things that she talked me through, sometimes when you feel a certain way about a certain thing, but you don't quite understand it. And the way she cuts through all of that and goes, this is what you're really feeling. This is why. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, it is. It's not about this thing over here that I think it is. It's actually something completely different. And that is a talent in itself. So there we go with Zoe Holland.
Well, when she gave me the question, yeah, it's got to be her. But she gave me this question last year at a conference, said, I want you to talk about that. I didn't even understand it when she gave it to me. It was just a sentence. It was like, listen to your inner roar even before you're ready. And I kind of went, what does she mean? I didn't even understand it. Then I understood it. And then I knew what she was getting at because she was thinking of my background. I thought, you clever person. How did you cut through all that into one sentence and get me? And I now talk about what she made me think about and talk about every speech I do. Oh. Because it's so important. I mean, imagine at this age, I meet her, she gets to the quick, and then, she's amazing. So she's got to come on.
Perfect. That will do perfectly for me, Donna, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a really interesting conversation between the two of us.
I'll be listening to that one as well.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you coming and doing this. And like I said to you at the very start, I really think that there will be so many people out there that can resonate with everything that you've talked to us about. Thank you for being so open and honest. I think it's really, really appreciated.
No, I've really loved it. Thank you for asking me. And I wish you the best of luck with everything. I love what you're doing. And I'm a big follower. As you know, I'm liking all your stuff and reposting it now. I'm a stalker now. I'll stalk you now.
Oh, yay. Mutual stalking. I love it.
Yeah, we'll do that. No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.